So according to Al, Monday is everybody's favorite day on the Weight Loss Losers. I'm going to have to try to steal that title from you. And when I do, then we're going to have to talk about how depressed you are about it, and I'll help you out. Alright? So today is Thursday, April 2nd, 2009. I am Juan, your vlogger for Weight Loss Losers on Thursdays. And Alejandro, bro, I'm joking, man. I'm not here to steal your limelight. Everybody loves you and you're a great guy, so no worries. But if you do need a prescription for Prozac, give me a call. Alright, so I have recorded this video I don't know how many times, and then I just did what I thought was an awesome video and ended up didn't recording it all. So I'm going to try to condense this relatively quickly because I have a lot of stuff to talk about. Depression is something that has affected my life very much. And my depression affected me in the sense that I am an eater. When I get depressed, I have a tendency to want to eat and to overeat. And basically I've learned in life that letting things affect me in that method and letting them get to me, and then me eating is just a method of me stabbing myself in the foot, sabotaging my, I guess, my plan and my goal in life, my goals. Let me start off with a little bit of background. In my family, it's 4 of us, me, my younger sister, my mom, and my dad. My dad is a very controlling person. And he tends to run on edge. He's got a very short fuse, or did. And when we lived together in this house, there was a lot of stress. It was always you walked into this house and you could just feel the tension in the air. And, you know, on top of that, in my family, there's a tendency for addictive personalities, and you know, he didn't make life very easy, and you know, both my parents made mistakes, and they realize it now, and we've had in talks where they've, you know, cried to me and told me that they're sorry for making the mistakes they did. And it's funny because as we have not lived together, you know, anymore, things got so much better in regards to our relationship, and we've grown even stronger and tighter as a family, and I love them to death. So, but when my father, you know, when we were younger, my father was a very controlling person, like I said, which made me a very shy and introverted person. On top of that, he ended up cheating on my mom, and he was traveling a lot at the time to Latin America and stuff like that. My mom didn't deal with the stress very well, and I got to a point where I guess she couldn't deal with it anymore, and she turned to alcohol, and she became an alcoholic, and there were lots of embarrassing moments and memories of that. Embarrassing moments in front of my friends from school, and you know, there were lots of times where my mom was the only one, you know, taking care of us because my dad was traveling, and then she would be drunk and, you know, having to deal with that. She ended up having a car accident with my sister and I in the car and getting arrested for DUI in front of us. And then dealing with the wrath of my dad. And then becoming sober for almost 10 years. Then she ended up relapsing on painkillers, taking Furosen and god-awful other pills that I don't even want to remember anymore. And those got her really sick and got her really skinny, and she was always doped up. You know, in all those instances after, my dad pretty much just couldn't deal with it, and my sister and I kind of had to step up to figure out what was going on, but get her into a rehab program, and I have done that probably, what, 7 or 8 times, and, you know, unfortunately, it's just been one of those things. She doesn't deal with stress well anymore, and any small thing can stress her out, and it's kind of sad to see, and all I can do is try to support her as much as I can within a reasonable limit. My sister has suffered from bulimia, and she overcame that back in right at the same time I had my gastric bypass. She went into a program right after that, and I'm super proud of her because she hasn't relapsed with that, and it's not she's been able to overcome it. And it's such a difficult thing, especially at her young age. She's now 27, but back then she was like 24, and I know for young women it's very hard to deal with all the issues that of appearance and image that everybody has, which kind of leads to me, because I knew how my sister's problem made me feel and how much it hurt, and I knew that my depression affecting me was making me overeat, and was making me, I was getting heavier, and they were seeing this, and it was hurting them more, so it wasn't helping them at all, which was one of the reasons why I decided to do my gastric bypass, because I knew that my problem was hurting my friends and my family, and I didn't want them to hurt anymore. Which then comes to, I guess, how other issues also affected my depression. I mean, besides the fact that, everything that I've explained to you guys already, I used to be very introverted and very to myself. I was very shy. And I was that way through most of, middle school, high school, and when I was even younger than that. And there's a few things besides everything that also you've already heard. But I had, I don't know if you would call it being molested or not, but when I was at the age of 4, and then again, like around 11 or 12, I had women kind of put themselves on me or put me into awkward positions. And it's something that I haven't really talked a lot about, just a little bit with my psychologists that I've seen in the past. And I know that those are things that affected my self-confidence and me being so shy. And in life, I've had to learn to move. I had to break out of that shell that I was in, because I was so unsure of myself and so scared. I was scared of everything. I didn't like talking in front of people. I didn't, I was so nervous all the time. I would get sick from it and anxious. And ended up, one of the things after coming out of high school, I ended up becoming much more open, much more of an aggressive person, and learning how to deal with issues, because I put myself into situations where I had to talk with people. I actually went into retail sales, and I had to talk with people. I had to be more comfortable and more assertive. I've also taken a few public speech classes and things like that. So with all this that you've heard, I've learned that and it's kind of funny because I see people get very upset over things that to me seem very small, and I guess it's because the way I look at things now is that there's too much shit in life to deal with, and too many problems and too many things to be upset about in life to let small things get to you, whether it be at work or family or problems personally, or your car or finances or whatever. Don't let them eat away at you. Don't let them bring you down, because then the tendency is then to want to sabotage yourself, get into the old habit. And sometimes I still have that problem, and I have to fight it. And an example, when I had my accident with my car, I got really depressed. And it took me a little bit to get on my funk, and my family and my friends were there to help me out. But I'm only human, right? So I guess that's my advice. If you don't have people that you can talk to, try to see a therapist. There's support groups. There's Overeaters Anonymous if you need somebody to talk to and you don't have the resources for it. but you know, try to strive to be better. Try to, you know, push forward. I hope that's making any sense. Anyways, this video is getting really long, and I'm really tired. So if you guys have any questions, please go ahead and leave comments or personally message me. More than welcome to. And stay tuned for tomorrow. Jason, your Friday vlogger. Much love, guys.